So I was just thinking to myself not too long ago, and I actually had a conversation with a couple of my friends, exactly what the game has become now. Yeah, a lot of things have happened, XYZ, synchro summons and stuff like that. Like, me personally, I came back just when synchro summoning was, like, new. Like, it was that new hot fire. Basically, that first set was awesome. That's why this whole XYZ thing is kind of taking a while to take off, because when synchros first came out, it was busted as shit. You just had Dark Arm decks. You just had Dark Arm come out, and then you had the synchro summons come out, and they just worked together, and then you got all the good synchros, because when you look at it, you got Stardust Dragon, Red Dragon Archfiend, Goyo Guardian, I think Iron. Basically, you got a shit ton of really good broken ass synchros. And as far as XYZs are concerned, the only good thing that came out was Utopia. And even when Utopia came out, a lot of people were just like, "Oh, this card sucks. It's garbage. It's stupid." And then you guys realized it's actually better than you thought it was. Fucking scrubs. But besides that, what I'm talking about really is just the way the game has changed as far as accessibility to cards, the new strategies that have been coming out, mostly the way that Konami has gone about doing things. Now, when I first started playing, it was Upper Deck, because Upper Deck just ran shit. They were the ones, they handled trading cards, period. Like, I'm talking about baseball cards, football cards, all that stuff they handled. So obviously they were the first choice. Then the whole stupid thing came up where, they were making fake cards, and, basically that's where Merritt got his fake Dragon of Ra in the anime series that killed his brother, basically. Yeah, that was Top Deck Entertainment for the win. But ever since that lawsuit happened and Konami won and Upper Deck or Top Deck, whatever the fuck they were called, disappeared, Konami just approached it in a way, and what a lot of people forget is that, Konami's in it to make the bread, the paper, the cheese, the money, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They were in it to make the money. And they had something that was actually worth a lot of money. The card game, because you guys, we all love our card game and shit. I love Konami because they gave me Metal Gear Solid, and then Yu-Gi-Oh was always around because I was in high school and stuff, and still around now. I'm surprised. So they figured out, I think they have finally figured out the perfect way to do it. And it's funny to see that there are actually still some people out there that just don't like it. And my whole thing is this, it's like, what the fuck do you guys want? Basically, I remember the time. I remember when Mirror Force and Torrential and Solemn Judge, like, those were cards of the elites. If you saw somebody with those cards, they were a problem. That motherfucker right there was on his shit. Didn't matter if they stole it, if they won it, if they bought it. You had those cards, you automatically held like a status above everybody else. And I'm talking about like the casuals just walking into a store. I'm not even talking about like the tournament thing where, skill and everything else would come into play. Just based off of pure first impression, like, oh my god, this guy's deck is hollowed out and he's got all these hard to find cards. That was good. It did add a level of mystique and stuff like that, but after a while, and especially the last couple of years, it just got annoying. It's just like, okay, when it first came out, yeah, it's hard to get, but why is it that after so many years we just don't have access to it? Like, I've been playing, I can't afford it, I don't really have time to do things, and I want to be a little bit more competitive now, but I don't want to spend the money and stuff like that. Because honestly, like, me personally, I feel that I'm one of the people that feel if I have the money to buy something, I will. But cards, it's like I can spend my money on so many better things. I'm going to spend $40 for a piece of paper, piece of cardboard. Why? It doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. I'm weird like that. My brain can't process. Oh, 50 cards. $50 for a fucking Maxi. $150 for one tour guide. And I need 3 of them, so I'm looking at saying, I'm sorry. I guess I'm just weird like that. I can't comprehend that kind of mindset, that kind of thought process. You know, I'm fucking retarded. That's probably why I'll never top a YCS or something. Granted, but the way Konami's been doing it has been, in my opinion, fucking brilliant. What is it that people want? They want certain cards. Pot of Duality came out. Probably one of the best cards ever made since Pot of Greed. Well, what did we do? Well, we released the card. It was secret rare. People went the nut. They went the nut. The juice was overflowing everywhere. I understand. But after a while, it was just like, okay, but people are getting frustrated. It was like, you know, halfway into the year, people were frustrated. They were like, oh my god, I keep losing to that. And Solemn Warning. And then Konami, in their infinite wisdom, was like, well, if people spent, because we sold out of Duelist, what was it? Not Duelist Rev. Duelist Revolution. We sold the fuck out of Duelist Revolution. We printed them all out and they sold, and none of the stores are carrying it, or they only have like 5, which they're valuing it at like $200 or something stupid like that, because a box of that shit really jumped to like $200. They're like, how can we still profit off of this? Tins. It was one of the simplest things. Like, tins were always a way for you to get stuff. Like, the Black Rose tin is still worth, like, you go to random places, it'll still be worth $30 if you can find it. Why? Because it has a Black Rose in it. Same thing for the Goyo tin. When Goyo was legal, yeah, good luck finding that tin. And then if you did find it, you better have at least $50 on deck to pay for that shit. Because you weren't paying for the packs, you were paying for the fucking card. So what did? Instead of just making regular old tins, they made special limited edition tins at the end of the year. And what was the first tin? The first tin had Pot of Duality as a super. Yeah, the guys that held on to their Pod Dualities were pissed as shit because their card just dropped drastically in value. But it was brilliant because it did a couple of things. One, it gave people a reason to actually go and buy these tins. Pot of Duality was like its biggest seller. There were a couple of other cards in there that were good. Like that Pot of Duality tin was probably one of the best tins I've ever seen come out because of reprints. And it gave you incentive to go buy it, and it gave you a reason to buy the tin at least, because for the most part we just look at tins like whatever, because the ratios aren't as good as like a special edition, and they made money off of it. Another side effect that happened though was like vendors got upset and stuff like that. But if you're a smart vendor, you do realize people might not necessarily be able to buy the tins, but they will get that one card. And the other thing that people forget all the time is it's limited edition. Like I said, you didn't see Goyo tins after a while. You didn't see Black Rose tins after a while. And guess what? It's been a while, but every now and then I'm surprised when I see that tin with Pot of Duality. The only ones in abundance that I see a lot of is the Solemn Warning ones. Trust me, that Pot of Duality tin is going to start going away, hence the limited edition part, as well as the Solemn Warning. So smart vendors, not the dumb ones that try to juice everybody, like drastically juice, the smart vendors are actually keeping a stock of dualities, a bunch of dualities to the side, which is a really smart thing to do. But it's so tempting to just get rid of your dualities because, you know, now dualities is worth anywhere from $8 to $12, $15 right now, the ones from the tin. So it's really easy to get your hand get them out of your hands and stuff. Same thing with the Solemn Warning tins. Yeah, they're in abundance now, but give it another couple of months, probably right now, you're not going to run into those tins anymore. You know? Granted with that and the fact that they got to reprint a lot of cards because, you know, you've got word text that need to be changed around and stuff like that, you got to definitely remember that. So, as far as that's concerned, it's brilliant. I love what Konami's doing right now. It's probably one of the smartest things. They're still making their money, but they're helping the players that don't have that much access to these things, and then the players that already have access to it, that have been winning and stuff like that, you can just go buy these tins, buy these sets, and then get the stuff that you don't need and just sell them away anyway. So in a way, everybody wins at the end of the day. The only people that lose are the purists, the ones that like the rarities that their cards came in. So it kind of sucks for them, but everybody needs their shit. Anyway, stay in touch. Check out the Facebook, the Twitter, the Facebooks and the YouTubes and all that stuff, and stay tuned for more information and more little rants and
thoughts like this. Bad Plays Incorporated. Stay up.